Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create a new document. So come up here to File, New, and the size that we're going to need is 1500 by 500. Right now I'm working with 300 ppi because that's what BookFunnel for authors requires. But I just want to make a special note here that often when you're creating images for the internet, they are at 72 ppi, which makes them faster to upload and download. Now click open the advanced options, and I'm going to choose transparency, and then click OK. All right, so this is the size of our image that we're going to be making. The checkerboard here is an indication that there is nothing on the layer. It's see-through, and that comes into play as we begin to design things. It's not going to come into play today, but it's a good habit to get into to start with a transparent background, because once you choose transparency for the first layer, it sort of attaches to all layers that you create above this one. Okay, so when you come into a GIMP, your colors are going to be black and white. Okay, so we'll start there. Now, the next thing we're going to learn is the difference between opening an image and opening an image as a layer. So let's open the image we'll be using. Open. Here it is, DP Romance Banner. Open. So if you just open an image, if you look up here, it opens it separately. It opens it as a new project, so to speak. So when you want to open an image and put it on the next layer, you have to hit Open as Layer. Then we'll click on the banner, and it's going to pull it right in. Now, I'm rolling this out. I'm zooming out so we can see the edges of both documents. One is the template that we're using, and this yellow dotted line is an indication that my photograph I just pulled in is bigger than the banner that we're making. So I'm going to resize it. So over here in the second row here is a tool called Scale Tool. The shortcut is Shift S. So if I click on that and then come over and click on the yellow line, it will surround it and throw up this dialog box. Now, by holding Control and grabbing onto one of the corners, I can click and then drag it in to fit the template. Okay, so as soon as I get it to fit the template here, I'm going to let go. Okay, now the proportions for my template are different than the proportions from the photograph. So because this is just a banner, it's not going to make any difference if I just stretch it, and that's what I'm going to do today. So holding down the Shift key, I'm going to come over here and click on this box and pull it over to cover the template, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then click Scale. Okay, and so now we have the banner is the exact size that we need. Now, if you look over here in the Layers panel, and if your Layers panel is not opened when you first open GIMP, if you go to Windows and there's a dockable dialogues, and if you come over here and look down this long list, you will find somewhere in here the Layers panel. Here it is, right here. Control L for Layers, okay? So this banner has now gone onto the second layer. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is, I'm going to zoom in to my image here. The next thing we want to do is add a headline. So I want to use a dark purple that's already in this photograph. So I'm going to click on my foreground color and come over here to the dialog box and get the dropper. And this dropper will go and find the color that you lean it on. So I'm going to the darkest part of this lilac color. Click OK. And then click OK. So now I've changed the foreground color to the dark lilac. So now we're going to use the text tool. So I'm going to click on the text tool and then pull open a headline box, a text box, and then click inside and put my headline. Let's see, July promotion for best-selling ebooks. Stock up now for the summer. Or I'll put the rest of summer. Okay, so I want to hit Control A to surround all of them. I am highlighting all of the text, and I'm going to come up here and change it to 60. Okay, that's a better size for a headline. Okay, so I'm going to click over to the Move tool, and that pulls you out of the text tool. All right, now I need one more text line here to indicate the dates of the promotion. So I'm going to go back to the text tool, which is the A. It's also a shortcut key T, and pull out another text box. Okay, and I'm going to highlight all of that, and then I'm going to make this say 50. Okay, and that's good. And I'm going to click over to the Move tool to click out of the text box. So now we're going to learn how to use the Align tool. So go over to your Layers panel and click on Background. And then over here, the second tool in is the Alignment tool. The shortcut key for that is Q. So click on the Alignment tool, and this I have set to relative to active layer. There's several things you can associate it with, but I like to associate it with the active layer. That's why I'm on the background. Okay, and so then once you have it set up, you come back and click on the area that you want to center. So I just clicked on the top headline, and I'm going to center it. You see, and it just moved it. And I'm going to do the same thing with the date and center it. Okay, now because the flowers are a little off, I'm going to move this. I'm going to come off of this, click on the Move tool, and now go back to the date layer, hold down Shift, and push this over a little bit. Even though it's technically off center now, I think it looks better the way it is. All right. So now that the banner is done, we're going to learn the difference between saving the project and exporting the project. Okay. So if I save this, File, Save As, the only document that this program is going to save is an XCF document, and that is a graphic in the Gimp system. So if you wanted to save this so that you can come in next time and change your banner and just use these headlines and just change them up, you can save it as that type of a document. But if you just want this to be a JPEG or a PNG file, then you will need to export it. So we're going to export as, and then I'm going to go back onto the desktop. All right, and we're going to name it, Romance Book Banner July. Okay, with a PNG, and export it. And now it's exported, and it's in a place where I can easily upload it to BookFunnel. So that's all you really need to make a header for a promotion at BookFunnel. Now, if you want to save this size as a template for the next time, that's what we're going to learn now. We're going to go up to File and come down where it says Create Template. Click on that, and then you're going to name it BookFunnel Header 2, because I named one a minute ago as 1. And then click OK. All right, so then let's pretend. And then when it comes time to X out of this, you can discard the changes because you've already saved everything. Okay, now let's pretend it's the next day and you're making another banner and you come into a blank screen in GIMP. If you click on Open and then click on New, you'll get to choose a template here, Template. And if you click this Open, all of your templates will be here. So I just created this one. Okay, now this is where the transparency comes into play. Because I have the dark lilac as my foreground color and black as my background color, the template creates the background using your background color. Okay, so if you come over here to background, click on the layer, and then right click and put Add an alpha channel. What that does is it makes this layer capable of being transparent. So all you need to do to get back to that transparency is to click on the banner and then click your delete key. And there is your transparent banner. So I just wanted to mention that because as you begin to create graphics, knowing how to control the transparency is going to become more important. So anyway, that's the video. I hope somebody learned something.